Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, your host, for episode 135, and live on Skype, we also got Josh.
Hey!
So we get to start off Raw this week, or pretty much throughout the entire show. We're just packing it full of legends.
Yeah, they're desperate to get the ratings up.
You know when they pull out Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair in one episode, they want those ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And after experiencing the new way to watch Raw, I see why a lot of people do it. And that's just going through WWE's YouTube and just watching all of the highlights they put up. It's a lot quicker. It's like Raw in half an hour.
And with Hulu, it's Raw in 90 minutes.
Yeah. It seems as though they're shooting themselves in the foot, though. If they really badly want these TV ratings, then they got to stop supplying the shorter versions. It seems nice and simple. If you want people to watch one product, don't offer the exact same product in a shorter time frame, because most people are rushed nowadays. But it did at least lead to one or two interesting segments. And a Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins face-off. The crowd definitely seemed to be into that face-off in terms of, even though it's never going to happen, wanting to see it. At least they thought Shawn still had one more match.
I've always thought that, though.
True. But would it be Seth Rollins? It seems like everybody would be Seth Rollins. You know? Like, oh, this person has one more match. You just put him up against Seth Rollins. Seth seems to have the most, if anything would pull through, the most options in terms of WrestleMania. Because what?
Yeah,
He's got Shawn, he's got Triple H, he's got Lesnar again, he's got Reigns or Ambrose, he's got, I'm thinking about like a Batista type or someone who Triple H brings in to be on his side. Many a things that can happen. Kane even. Unpopular opinion, but Undertaker. There's just so many things that Seth could do. But talking of face-offs, I guess we kind of have to mention the Brock Lesnar Undertaker one.
yeah, it was much more subdued than their big brawl at the beginning of the feud.
Seems like they've calmed down. Which I don't know if that's a good thing, if they're calming down heading into Hell in a Cell. I feel like they should be heating up. But that match, I don't think the internet's decided on what way that match is going. People can see it going both ways. But they're definitely double downing on the hype that it is the last match between those two. And a couple of promos at least saying that it is the last match, full stop, not mentioning against Brock Lesnar. Do you think that The Undertaker will continue after this match between now and like a couple of weeks before WrestleMania?
Who really knows? But
My current guess is that he will have this match and then he'll leave for a little while and then he'll only re-emerge later on. It's hard to say You need to give the guy a break when the guy's been working, 2 dates a month. I guess he was on one of the live events. But we also got, in the opening match, the New Day. They used to reign tall, and now they just get slammed through tables over and over and over. But now they're unicorns. Why? Oh, why are they unicorns? I feel like the New Day said this crazy thing. They were like, hey guys, let's go pretend to be unicorns. And then just nobody told them no.
Hey, it's working.
I think at this point, the New Day could get anything over. Unicorns, clapping, a trombone.
Which is now broken.
Yep. That's why we had to become unicorns. Maybe they can use some of their unicorn magic and bring the trombone back to life. But at the end of that match, it definitely seemed as though they were writing Xavier Woods off. Or at least to me.
But they put Xavier Woods through tables 3 times already.
Yes, but this time they did a Raw Fallout video where they say Xavier Woods is no more. That's the difference. And John Cena touched him a little bit and gave him an AA. He couldn't handle the John Cena power. Yeah, I don't know. I think it seems to be a nice cop-out in terms of everybody wanted the third man for the Dudleys, so instead you just take out the third man of the New Day. Air quotes around take out. It's highly possible that Xavier Woods will still come out injured and all, and then they'll realize, well, we can't put him out, we need our third person. And then boom, third person at the next pay-per-view. And who knows who that will be. Well, one person we know it won't be is the person whose song we're about to play. Because Lucha Underground got another season. So Johnny Mundo's going to be a little busy. Just not as John Morrison. Because that's the WWE theme that we're playing. Oh god, I suck at segues. I should just stop. Here, have the song. Now listen, this ain't no make-believe. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup. FreeFM 89.0. Grady and Josh. Raw at the moment. So Orton's injured. And that seems legitimate by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it's apparently a legitimate injury. Personally, I wanted them to cut away from Raw and have them and do a venue out of Orton being left motionless in the middle of a desert in Mexico by Luke Harper. That would also explain why Luke Harper was not there.
It was slightly, I don't want to say confusing. They just sort of said, Orton's injured, he's not here. And then Dean says he's going to take on Harper and Strowman in a handicap match. And then next minute, you've now got Rowan there. And then Bray comes out and Roman comes out, turns into a 2-on-3 with Harper nowhere to be seen. It seems as though that's being chalked up to personal reasons.
Yeah, apparently Harper was not on Raw last night for personal reasons.
And it's not very nice to speculate through personal reasons, so we'll just leave it at that. But it did, with no fanfare whatsoever, bring out the re-emergence of Eric Rowan.
And it also brought a Shield reunion for one night only.
Yeah, thanks to Shawn Michaels and his mind games. Yeah, can you call it a reunion? It's not a reunion. The three of them were on the same team for approximately, 5 minutes before Seth Rollins tweaked his knee? Either way, Seth's been doing Raw quite hard lately with all of these double duties, or even Night of Champions, he did 2 matches. He's doing a lot of double up. Something we can't skip over, and that we should mention, just because it's exactly what you wanted, as far as I know, the United States Open Challenge is going to be on the pay-per-view for once.
Yes, they did announce that last night. That Cena is going to have an open challenge on the pay-per-view.
Congratulations on finally getting what you wanted.
Now, here's a bold prediction.
Bold?
Mm-hmm.
Is it underlined and italic? Yep.
My prediction is that the person that will answer the challenge will be Tyler Breeze, and he will win the championship.
Very bold. Personally, I think me and the rest of the internet are just waiting for Summer Breeze to happen. And then we'll see from there. But, yes, the rumours seem to just be stacking up about Tyler Breeze. You got the first rumour that he was debuting on the main roster soon and is officially considered a main roster talent. Then the he's coming out very soon rumour. Then the him pairing up with Summer Rae rumour. It definitely makes some sort of sense for him to come out and win. John Cena would then have a very bad track record with debuting NXTers. But it would start him off with the right momentum, much like it did with Owens. I think for a while, people have been looking down at NXT now and saying that Tyler Breeze is that one guy who's just always been down in NXT.
I do know that earlier this year, Triple H put out an edict that he wanted Tyler Breeze on the main roster by the end of the year.
Well, he's cutting it pretty close. But yeah, it's not necessarily like when you look down at NXT's roster that he's absolutely the best down there, hands down. He's amazing as an athlete, but he's been down there for so long, and I think it is his time. You know, it's very hard or very unfair, really, to talk about, you know, it being this person's time. But I think if anybody down in NXT deserves a main roster spot, it's definitely Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, and I know it really bothered him when they slingshotted Owens through the system.
Yeah. And I think it would bother anybody when you it's like you're next in line and then they just bring in someone new and then they take your spot in line.
I think it bothered him because of not just him, but other people like him that have been in developmental for so long. And here comes Kevin Owens, and he's in developmental for 4 months, and then he's on the main roster.
Yeah. It's hard to say because NXT is so not a developmental now at this point that it really doesn't matter, especially when they're going so, what do we call them, like a super indie, I think we called them, that it's not necessarily a developmental anymore, so it doesn't matter how long you spend down there now. It's coming to the point now where everybody who goes to NXT is almost an equal. You know, there's people who are better and people who are worse or not as good, but since it's a brand, you sign people at all different experience levels, and since it's a brand, you can move them to your other brand at all different experience levels and times down in that other brand. So it's not necessarily a straight line correlation like it used to be. You used to get signed, then you used to go to developmental, you worked in developmental till they wanted you on the main roster. There's people who have skipped it altogether.
Sin Cara.
But yeah, so it's not as straightforward, or it's not formulaic anymore, which is slightly interesting, but I do see where it leaves the people who work their butts off in the performance center week after week after week and don't get the results that they fairly deserve compared to the people who are just coming in. But I think that's the way we're headed with NXT in terms of a brand.
And it reminds me of the little spat that Bull Dempsey had over the article with ESPN or WWE had on the Evolve in relationship.
Yep.
And that may end up resulting in like a WWE Evolve invasion type storyline in NXT.
Yeah, well, they've got... I'm horrible at these two names. Gargano and Ciampa. I'm pretty sure both of them are signed now. Not entirely sure. But Bull was not happy that they were basically saying that these Evolve guys were what was next. And then he listed a bunch of people who worked hard at the Performance Center. And I think it's just the way it's going to go. If they're going to hire people from Evolve, they're going to hire people from Evolve. And if they're going to promote them on the website, then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's definitely they're just definitely doing a working relationship with Evolve to provide talent for NXT. Whether that's an actual contract with NXT or not, that's the remain to be seen. But there's definitely a working relationship there.
Yeah, well, you've also got it's not necessarily a working relationship, but I know they took a couple. This is just my quick, easy plug across. Took a couple of girls who were working, I think it was the might have been Shine, tapings over there, and put them on NXT.
Shine's the one that shows up on WN Network.
Okay. And we got New Zealand's Evie, most important fact. But I also think we got Shazza McKenzie as well. So it'd be interesting to see, especially since there's a lot of talent exchange already with Shine, in terms of that they don't necessarily have a pool. They pull from other countries, and they pull from Evie from New Zealand. And then if they're then being pulled from for NXT, I believe that gives everybody a bigger shot. You don't necessarily have to be in the right place at the right time, which seemed to be how a lot of this hiring used to go. You just had to have the right look at the right time and have the right guy find you at that point. Whereas now you can just work hard and stay on the indies or be noticed and scouted off there. So we're going to go into our current entrance theme. Slightly late. It is Luke Harper's Swamp Gas. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup. FreeFM 89.0. Grady and Josh. Just before we get to the hashtag Divas Revolution, just going to mention Kevin Owens, Mark Henry, and the pop-up powerbomb, the world's strongest pop-up powerbomb.
That was impressive.
I feel like impressive doesn't sell it well enough.
Well, Mark Henry definitely sold it.
I can't make a better joke than that. Let's just go to the women's wrestling. Paige is continuing her dissension with the other two and starting a feud with little old Renee.
Yeah, and I want to see Renee Young just beat the living crap out of her.
Does Renee have any in-ring experience?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I'm sure they could train her up. Maybe she can be the third member of PCB. But they were basically trying to highlight the fact that someone attacked Natalya. And nobody knows who.
But everybody suspects it's Paige. And Paige suspects everybody.
Yeah.
Even people no longer in the company.
Yeah, it's still him. It's Eve Torres and Caitlyn.
And Hall of Famers Trish Stratus and Lita.
Alundra Blaze.
Alundra Blaze. It could have been injured Lana. It could have been Summer.
Is this going to be another one of those? I'm trying to remember who it was that got attacked. I feel like it was Layla. It was someone, and then like the person attacking them was in a blonde wig, and then they tried to find out who it was.
Yes, that was when Caitlyn got attacked.
Yep.
And it turned out to be Ascana that did the attacking on the behalf of Eve Torres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fun angle at the time.
So that Eve could win the Divas Championship, and then Caitlyn eventually win it at, I want to say it was TLC when she won it. I could be wrong.
All I know is that it is probably not Paige that attacked her. Just because I know they love to pull swerves, so they'll probably pick someone else. Hell, maybe it was Bayley. There we go. Bayley's turned heel and gone to the main roster.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that they've had a face on NXT come up as a heel.
But come on, Bayley.
That would be interesting. But Bayley's too sweet to be a heel.
Yeah, I think that's the only problem with Bayley. Absolutely love her. She's good and everything. But I don't think she could ever pull off heel. Except maybe her wacky, wavy, inflatable arm men going like black, and then she's coming out in full black, and her music is just like slowed down 10 times. And the men deflate after they pop open. I don't know. Maybe it was Emma. Maybe she's forcing her way back into the Divas Revolution.
Or maybe next week they'll reveal a video that shows that Paige did it.
Yeah, they'll just do the obvious. Oops, Paige did it. But you know, they got to release that on SmackDown.
Detective Renee will find a video of the attack.
Leading to Renee Young and Natalia versus Paige and somebody else. And a tag team match. Either way, we got 2 Divas matches. I think they both went for a decent amount of time. Yeah, that's all we got time for. We've run out of time. We made too many Bayley heel conspiracy theories. So it's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio. Quickly, before we run out of time, it's Armageddon Expo this weekend here in New Zealand. I'm going to be down there, and hopefully I'm going to come back with a special surprise. I really do hope. Timings and everything might not work out, but you might see it next week. But either way, I'll see you next week.